Have you ever pondered the notion that before entering this world, your soul intentionally chose your family as an artist crafts their masterpiece? With great precision, your soul envisioned this human experience, weighed its forthcoming trials, and declared, "Here I will grow, here I will awaken." Yet you find yourself in a family that feels like a battlefield, struggling to understand why an environment intended to nurture instead felt as though it damaged your spirit. I have faced it. You've faced it. And here's a profound truth. Being born into a toxic family is neither punishment nor a karmic curse. It's a gift, a monumental, life-altering, paradigm-shifting gift. Though it may not seem so now, let us dive deep into the heart of this enigma to discover the wisdom hidden within your pain. Embrace this journey with Chosen One. Consider this. Toxic families are like fire. Yes, they burn and leave scars, but they also forge and strengthen your soul like tempered steel. They dispel illusions that life is either just or easy, compelling you to examine the raw and unfiltered facets of the human condition. Toxic families serve as the perfect proving ground for those chosen to break generational cycles and transcend the ordinary. Why then would your soul elect to be born into a family that feels so shattered? Start with this understanding. The toxicity you face isn't random. It is ancestral, generational, a legacy of unhealed wounds, unspoken truths, and unconscious patterns. You, my friend, were born to break this chain. Reflect on this truth. You were destined not to fit in, but to stand out, to rise above and heal not just yourself, but those who came before and those who will follow. This is what makes you a chosen one in all its spiritual richness. Yet, before a cycle can be broken, it must be experienced firsthand. You can't heal what you don't understand, and you can't rise above what you haven't faced. So you are placed amidst the chaos not to succumb, but to learn the art of swimming through stormy seas, to awaken rather than simply endure. When you gaze upon your family, what do you see? Anger, neglect, manipulation, control. And now, introspect. Where does this same shadow reside within you? Toxic families don't just wound us, they reflect us. They show us the parts of ourselves we are too frightened to confront. This is the gift, for within the fiery crucible of family dysfunction, you are given the chance to see, heal, and transform yourself. As you do, you ripple healing backward through your lineage and forward into the future. Let us not minimize the pain or pretend the journey is easy. It is not. Walking the path of those born into toxic families requires immense strength, resilience, and an enduring spirit. It demands we confront rejection, betrayal, and at times, abandonment. Yet, every instance you choose, love over hate, understanding over judgment, compassion over bitterness, you dismantle the cycle. What could happen if you ceased fighting your family and began viewing them as your greatest teachers? What if their toxic behavior mirrored their pain, revealing their struggle with self-love rather than yours with worthiness? In this understanding, a shift occurs. Cease viewing your family as foes. See them as wounded souls, reaching with what limited means they have. Transform the question from, "Why do they harm me?" to, "What do they teach me?" This realization unlocks the hidden treasures of your experience. Your family's toxicity isn't yours to bear. It is your invitation to heal, a call to remember who you are beyond their projections and pain, a call to step into your divine role as a chosen one. Herein lies a gentle yet profound lesson I learned. The goal was never to save them, but to rescue myself. As I shed the old patterns binding me, The dynamics around me transformed, not through force, but through the luminescence of my own change. This is the divine dance of the chosen one. You need not battle darkness. You merely need to shine your light. But consider this. What does it mean to let your light shine amidst shadows? To love oneself in isolation? To choose peace amidst chaos? These questions guide you as you journey onward, and a beautiful truth unfolds. When you cease viewing your family as a burden and see them instead as a gift, everything transforms. Embracing your path instead of resisting it empowers you. You were placed in a toxic family, not to break, but to rise, to heal, to awaken to a higher purpose. Witness how, amid chaos and hurt, light finds a way in, sparking transformative awakening and change. The paradox is this: to see the gift, you must first confront the wound. Too often, we are ensnared resisting our pain, fleeing it. However, pain, especially that which stems from familial roots, cannot be outrun. It demands you face it openly. Reflect upon familial wounds, criticism that undermined your worth, invisibility that muted your voice, control that stifled self-trust, conditional love that equated worth with sacrifice. These wounds shape, but also propel you towards awakening. Each carries a lesson, a story, and potential for growth. When painful memories arise, what emotions do they elicit? Anger, resentment, sorrow. Delve deeper. What do these emotions reveal about you? Chosen ones are not just here to mend their families. They are here for self-healing. Recognize that family-inflicted pain is not truly about you, but their own burdens. Unknowingly, you internalize this pain. Your true work begins in untangling yourself from this inherited narrative to rediscover your authentic self and worth. Start with awareness that the treatment you received doesn't define you, and that toxicity is not your fate. It is within you to halt these cycles. Awareness, though, is merely the initial step. Healing requires accountability, not for their actions, but for your path to recovery. Some people may never change. Some apologies will remain unwritten. This is acceptable. Your healing isn't dependent on them. It rests solely within you. Imagine, if you could, forgiving, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. Envision releasing bitterness and resentment, not condoning, but freeing yourself. Remember, forgiveness isn't about forgetting. It's about choosing not to let another's actions dictate your life. This is where the gift becomes tangible. Where healing meshed with awakening, you will realize your potential, radiating power. As you break free from inherited chains, you embody your true self. Yet be forewarned, this journey isn't neat. Healing isn't linear. Awakening isn't effortless. There will be days laden with familial burdens, seemingly too heavy to bear. Moments of questioning your own strength to shatter the cycle. In those moments, remember you are not alone, for Chosen One walks with you. Make sure to embrace the message of healing and awakening by subscribing to Chosen One, where we journey deeper into these profound spiritual truths together. In those challenging moments, remember this profound truth. You were chosen for this journey, not because it is easy, but because you are capable. Not because you deserve to suffer, but because you are destined to transmute suffering into strength, pain into purpose, and wounds into wisdom. Consider this. What if the very things that appear as your weaknesses, the scars you carry, are truly your greatest strengths? What if rejection taught you the power of self-love? What if neglect unfolded into independence? What if all your pain blossomed into compassion? This is the true alchemy of the chosen ones. We take the darkness into which we were born and transform it into light. We take the pain we're dealt and craft it into purpose. We turn inherited cycles into freedom, not only for ourselves, but for those who will come after us. Understand this: your healing transcends you. It illuminates your lineage. When you liberate yourself, you demonstrate the possibility of freedom to others. When you claim your power, you empower others to do the same. This is why a toxic family is ultimately a gift, not because the pain is excused, but because the pain has divine purpose, an awakening. So I ask you, if you knew that your family's toxicity was the very catalyst for your transformation, how would you perceive it? If every wound posed an invitation to grow, how would you answer it? Know this: you are not a victim of your family. You are the catalyst for their transformation. You are not intended to repeat their patterns. You are here to shatter them. You are not meant to be defined by their pain. You are destined to transcend it. And therein lies the true gift. Having unveiled the purpose behind the pain, let us explore the path forward. For recognizing you are chosen is only the beginning. Acknowledging your family's role as a gift does not immediately lighten the journey. The real work begins when you take responsibility for your life and your healing. Transformation occurs when you choose to break free, not just physically, but emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. Reflect on what freedom truly means to you. Not the kind of freedom that merely severs ties or distances you. True freedom. Is it not where their words, actions, and judgments no longer provoke a reaction? Where their opinions no longer control you, their dysfunction no longer defines you, and their toxicity no longer limits you? This path of liberation begins with a single, potent decision: to cease living in reaction to your family and begin living in alignment with your truth. Breaking free isn't about fleeing physically. You can traverse the globe and still carry your family's burdens with you, because those bindings are internal. They are the beliefs you've absorbed, the patterns you've adopted, the narratives you believe about your worth. First comes awareness. What family patterns am I unconsciously replaying? What beliefs did I inherit? What stories am I telling myself based on their treatment? Perhaps love was conditional upon achievements, causing you to chase validation, believing your worth is performance-based, or voices silenced, intuition doubted, truth suppressed. These beliefs are your chains, and awareness helps unravel them. But awareness is just the inception. Healing is the next chapter. Healing isn't about self-repair. It's about remembering your true self before the wounds, a re-emergence from under layers of conditioning. It's messy and discomforting. Healing necessitates 3 pillars: self-love, self-compassion, and self-discipline. Self-love is the cornerstone, a radical act of prioritizing yourself, honoring your needs, setting boundaries, asserting your worth irrespective of past treatment, accepting your inherent enoughness without external validation. Realizing this truth can be painstaking, especially when self-worth feels elusive. This is where self-compassion is vital, the gentle reminder that it's okay to hurt, to stumble, to seek answers. It's a journey, not a destination. You don't need to perfect it. Self-discipline is your ally. Recognizing what you need to show up for yourself tirelessly, even when it feels painful or stagnant. Making choices that serve your highest self, despite the allure of past patterns. Imagine a life where you embody worthiness daily. What decisions, boundaries, and relationships align with this belief? Breaking free concerns, not flipping the narrative on your family, but rewriting your own. You step away from their characterizations into your true self. True liberation isn't deserting your family. It's detaching from their energy, expectations, and narratives. It's loving them from wholeness, not duty. It's seeing beyond their flaws and choosing ascension from their pain rather than succumbing to it. The beauty lies in becoming the mirror, reflecting the possibility of transformation, freedom, and love to your family. Even if they never voice it, your healing inspires, your light ignites. Ask this: what if the greatest act of love you could offer your family is becoming the fullest, freest version of yourself? What if your healing is the seed of their change, even if generations must pass for it to blossom? Such is the chosen one's journey, not one of glamour, but of profound purpose, transformation, liberation. As we conclude this together, remember, your family's toxicity isn't your destiny. It's your crucible, forging your soul with each choice to rise, to heal, to love amidst dysfunction. You fulfill your purpose as a chosen one, birthed not by accident in a toxic family, but by divine intent, strong, wise, and courageous enough to transcend. Stand firm knowing you are not alone. Across the world, countless chosen ones heal wounds and rewrite destinies. Together, we are crafting a loving, compassionate future rooted in truth. Reflect on this last question. If you embraced your role as a chosen one, fully stepping into your power, what life would you create? Embrace the message of healing and transformation, and let the whispers of heaven guide you in every step. Subscribe to Chosen One for continued spiritual enlightenment and growth.